If you're planning a trip around Baguio and Benguet and you are looking for a place that gives you a little bit of everything, nature, mountain views, relaxing spaces, and a touch of adventure, come with me to Mount Camisong Forest Park and Events. This is one of those places where the experience starts even before you get to the main attractions. As you make your way here, you already notice the change in the atmosphere. The roads become quieter, the scenery becomes greener, and you get that unmistakable mountain feeling. The kind where you naturally want to slow down and take a deep breath. Once you arrive, you are greeted by a beautiful forest setting surrounded by pine trees and mountain scenery. And I think that's one of the first things you will appreciate about Mount Kamisang. It doesn't feel like you are simply visiting an attraction. It feels more like you are entering a whole outdoor experience where you can walk around, explore different areas, take photos, enjoy the views, or simply spend time surrounded by nature. There are different spaces around the property, so you don't necessarily have to rush from one spot to another. You can take your time, walk around the grounds, look at the scenery, find a nice viewpoint, and just enjoy the cool mountain air. And if you are coming here for an event, there are also designated event spaces, making the place suitable for gatherings and celebrations while still keeping that beautiful forest atmosphere. But of course, if there's one experience that you will probably be most curious about, it's a glass walk. And let me tell you, seeing it from a distance is very different from actually standing on it. At first, you are probably going to look at the glass and think, okay, am I really going to step on that? Because once you realize that you can see the space under your feet, your confidence suddenly disappears a little bit. One step, then another, and suddenly you become very aware of exactly where your feet are. But that's also what makes it fun. The glass walk gives you that little adrenaline rush while still allowing you to enjoy the surrounding mountain scenery. And if you're afraid of heights, you don't have to prove anything to anyone. Take your time, you can hold onto the railing, look straight ahead, take a breath, and slowly make your way across. But eventually, you might find yourself getting comfortable enough to actually stop and look around. And that's when you realize that the glass walk isn't only about the height, it's about the perspective. You are standing above the landscape, surrounded by mountains and trees with the forest extending around it. It's one of those experiences where you can feel a little nervous and excited at the same time. And yes, it's definitely one of those places where you're going to want someone with you to take photos. Inside Man Kamisong, there's also a place where you can stop and eat, which is actually perfect because after walking around exploring the different areas and especially after doing the glass walk, you will probably want to sit down, rest your feet, and have something filling. And while looking at what they had, we spotted the birria and honestly they immediately caught our attention. So this is what we decided to have while we were here. First we tried their birria pasta. This one was interesting because the flavor wasn't what I expected from pasta at all. For me, the first thing that came to mind when I tasted it was sisig. It has that rich, savory, meaty flavor that you usually associate with sisig. But instead of being served with rice, you are getting it with pasta. The birria gives the dish a deeper, more concentrated flavor, and you can really taste that slow-cooked, seasoned meat profile coming through. It's not a light or delicate pasta, it is more of a bold, comforting, savory kind of pasta. And because we already tried the birria pasta, we thought, why stop there? So next we tried their birria pizza. Now this is definitely an interesting combination because you are bringing together two very different comfort foods, the pizza and birria. When it arrived, you could already see the generous toppings, and once you take that first bite, you get that familiar combination of pizza crust and melted cheese. But then the birria comes through with that rich, savory, slow-cooked meat flavor, and surprisingly, it works really well together. The cheese gives it that creamy, slightly salty taste, while the birria adds a deeper and more seasoned flavor. So instead of the usual pizza toppings, you get something more unique and definitely more Filipino friendly. I also like that birria doesn't completely overpower the pizza. You can still enjoy the crust and cheese, but every bite has that extra savory character from the meat. And after walking around Mount Kamisong, exploring the forest, checking out the views, and of course surviving the glass walk, this was honestly the kind of food we wanted. Something warm, flavorful, and filling. It was also fun trying the birria in two completely different ways. The pasta gives us that sisig-like flavor, while the pizza gives us that cheesy, savory combination. So if you are facing Mount Camisong, don't just come for the views and adventure. Take some time to check out the food inside too, because sometimes the unexpected food finds end up becoming part of the travel memory. And for us, this Birria pizza was definitely one of those little surprises. So after the forest, the views, the glass walk, and all the walking around, this was our kind of ending. Good food, small stomach, and a happy little food adventure.